Right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is Jenna Adams, and we're chatting about retirement and pensions. What does the law say about it, especially when it comes to your employers, ladies and gentlemen? Must you retire at 60, 65? Must you do it because the law says so? Or
did the Lord call you for longer?
did the Lord say, stay there a bit longer? Play that, okay? Stay there a bit longer. So she joins us right now. Jenna, good afternoon. It's always lekker to have you. It feels like we haven't had you in like months. Like it feels like it's been, I don't know, like 2 months already.
It feels like I saw you last week.
Clearly, she feels the opposite.
Yo, okay. Clearly, I'm the only one feeling like this around here. Right. So, Jenna, let's talk about the retirement age first. Okay. Yes. Is there a formal retirement age in South Africa? Because we are under the assumption, myself and Michaela, that 60, 65, that's the formal age in South Africa. Is there a formal age?
Surprise, surprise, there actually isn't. There is no labour legislation that specifies a retirement age. This issue around 55, 60, 65 is usually actually determined from pension funds or company policies. But no one can force you to retire. And if they retire you or force you to retire based on your age or dismiss you, that is automatically unfair.
Wow. Unfair dismissal.
I hope people are listening to this.
No, absolutely. Because if you don't know what the law says, then you're just going to accept it.
Of course. And as we've discussed before, discrimination on the basis of age carries 2 years' worth of compensation.
Wow. Sure. That just hits the bottom. Almost like we retiring, but okay. I hear you. So does this mean that South Africans can work indefinitely? And also, why are people told to leave when they reach a certain age, given between 55 and 65?
Okay, so this is usually a clause and condition in pension funds or provident funds, or sometimes it's a term and condition in a contract of employment that someone has signed.
Okay.
It's in their policies, it's hidden around there saying that you can only work up to 60 or 65. And people sign this. And obviously now once you've signed it, you're in a bit of bother.
And we often don't read it. So we often don't realize this is what our contracts are saying. Can we work and still get our pension or our retirement?
What do you mean by that?
Like, okay, not retirement, but pension. So if I'm still working,
No. So if you're working, you're putting away money towards your pension, of course, but you cannot then, for example, retire and then still expect a salary. If
of
that makes
course.
sense. Then you're down to your savings.
Okay.
But what in the case of you signing a contract that specifies over this age you are not allowed to work anymore, can you fight that after you have signed it and you coming to that time where you need to now retire based on the contract?
You're going to have difficulty if you signed it. You should probably have sought legal counsel up front. The only thing that could save you there potentially and give you a case is if the employer is allowing everyone else to leave at 65 and suddenly they want you to leave at 60. And you've been singled out. Then you would have a case.
Sure. So then how is all of this regulated?
So that's difficult, right? We have the ages regulated in terms of the policies and pension schemes and things like that, and also then your contract. So it's not regulated in terms of the labor law. This comes down to contract law.
Okay. And then for those who are, if I resign, can I still claim my UIF? If I resign from this company and say, thank you.
Unfortunately not.
Are you serious?
That is one of the conditions that excludes you from claiming from the UIF. It's meant for the unemployment insurance fund. That's what it stands for.
But I mean,
UIF.
if you are unemployed.
Unfortunately, if you've retired or you've resigned, particularly if you've resigned, you have forfeited that.
Yo, that's hectic.
Yeah. So what happens if you are signing this contract, like I said, maybe at a younger age, like in your early 20s, and you're working there for that amount of years?
That's a very good question. I get asked this all the time. I see people coming to have consults with me and they say, but I'm owed money. What about my long years of service?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because it's not a retrenchment, there's no severance. There's nothing that says that the employer has to put money aside for you once you retire. So if you haven't put money aside in a retirement annuity or your own private pension fund, should your employer not offer one, you will be walking away with just your last month's salary.
Wow. Okay, so speaking about the employer, what happens then in the absence of an agreement between the employer and employee regarding this retirement? And then also, can there be a conversation around this is the age I want to retire at instead of the company deciding the age?
Of course. So what happens with employers, if they don't have an agreement with the employees, they can potentially rely on their provident fund or pension scheme provisions, if that's applicable. If it's not applicable, they're going to have a big company discussion to see whether everyone is prepared to sign up to a retirement age. If no one signs up for it or they don't want to sign up for it, the company cannot force you to retire because, as we've discussed, it would be considered automatically unfair. The only option then is they cannot come after you in regards to your age, but they might have to talk to you about performance. Maybe you just cannot do the job anymore at 70, and then we need to talk about maybe you're incapacitated.
Jenna, at the age, say for instance, you are at the age of 18 and you end up working this job till the retirement age that is specified in your contract, are you still not able to, because there are some places that renew their contract on a regular basis and others that keep that same contract running till then. Are you telling me still at, because like what I'm saying is as a young person, you're not really clued up with all this information that you could have changed it, but now you find out you can, and you still abiding to the contract that you were 18, like at the age of 18, and you are now maybe 56.
Sure. So if there's nothing saying there that the company has to help you contribute to a pension scheme, it was completely your own responsibility to do so and to see a tax consultant or a financial planner to assist you. In terms of trying to renegotiate your contract, that's always, on the table, but you've got to be careful how you bring this up. You don't want to be ostracized within the working community either. But yes, you can always try and negotiate for a particular retirement age. Whether that suits you or not, I can't say, because what happens if you feel you are capable of working till 70 and now the employer, wants to push you out at 60.
Yeah. And then also something that I came across is from the 1st of September, and maybe you can just comment on this as well, Jenna, if possible. From the 1st of September 2024, retirement contributions will be split by your retirement fund into a savings component and a retirement component. A ratio of 1/3 of total contributions will go into the savings component, and then 2/3 of total contributions into the retirement component. Can you just break that up for me?
Sure. So what's actually happened is a bill is going through the stages of being passed. They recently passed one at the end of last month, I believe, and they're still trying to work out the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
It hasn't actually been finalized yet, and it'll be interesting to see how this is going to play out, and also to see how employers are going to come up to that call, because we are currently seeing issues with employers not paying over monies adequately. So we'll have to see how this is going to play out.
So this bill is splitting the retirement into two segments, into two pots, right? Essentially, this is what they want to do,
Yes.
I assume. Does this benefit the employee or the employer more?
This is to protect employees who are blowing through their pensions so quickly that by the time they're 68, they have no money left.
Okay.
It's just to alleviate the pressure currently felt by the fiscal system. Government just cannot afford old age grants indefinitely.
That's very interesting. Okay, Jenna, thank you so much for chatting to us about this. Highly, highly appreciate it. Very interesting information. Maybe some heartbreaking information to a certain extent to hear about the retirement side of life. And the fact that I can't claim for UIF after I resigned. And I remember, and this makes sense because when I resigned in call center twice a few years ago, I was like, bro,
Where's my UIF?
because I remember on my payslip they were deducting UIF.
Yeah,
And I'm like, where is this UIF business? And lo and behold, nothing.
It's not for resignation, Cliff. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's in the wording, but okay, it's fine. It's Cliff.
Yeah, but I was unemployed for like 2 months.
At least it wasn't 2 years, Cliff.
Thank the Lord
there's
for that.
a bright shining star there for you.
I should have gotten my UIF. Anyway, so be it. Thank you so much for coming in. It's always a pleasure and a delight to chat to you, Jenna. And of course, if you missed the conversation, there are two places you can find it. Check us out on Facebook, as you are on Facebook Live, or alternatively, head on over to our podcast. This discussion will be up on podcast this week still. So go ahead and check it out. Retirement and pensions. Jenna, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. In case you missed it, for Riddle Me This today, Jenna, maybe just really quickly, I'm not sure if you...
I'm not a riddle person, Cliff. We've discovered this
That's
already.
okay. I mean, surely you won't do as bad as Michaela did.
I would love to hear what our answer is going to be.
So the riddle for today is, you go at red, but stop at green. What am I? You go at red, but stop at green. What am I?
What pops first in your head?
I was going to say not a car.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. I hear you. You go at red, but stop at green. What pops into your mind?
I don't know. Does your lights go red when you go on live?
Wow. Sure. Okay. I don't even know what to do with that answer. Like, but then Michaela said robots. And it questioned.
But
I questioned
okay.
the lights.
Jenna, just understand the fact that
Why
he
Jenna looking at
emphasized
Michaela?
the way he emphasized it with you wasn't the same way. He read it so fast. All I heard was red and green. So immediately my mind was like, robot.
I questioned the license.
I will not be asking Michaela for a lift anywhere anytime soon. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Listen, pop.